All right, if you will, find a seat, a place that you like to sit, so that you can see what's going on here tonight. And just to let you know, immediately following the belt promotions ceremony, we're going to invite the black belts that are here to come up on stage so we can have a group picture with everyone. And you'll have a lot of opportunity to take pictures with the entire group and individuals within the group. So if you will, just find a place to have a seat. All right, we'd like to start off tonight. I'm going to have the person that is being honored tonight through his promotion for A3 black belt, Master Jamie Cashion, if you'll come up and lead us in prayer.
Father God, thank you so much for this very special day. Thank you for sparing my life and perhaps the lives of many others in this room today. I am humbled by the support of the family and friends that are here to share this very special achievement. Life is so precious, and you allow us the tools to use to make a difference in other people's lives. You've allowed me the gift of sharing the knowledge that has been handed down for generations. Lord Jesus, my life would be empty had you not brought me to Billy Smith in 1976 for my very first karate class. At that point, you laid out my path to use martial arts as an avenue to demonstrate your love and compassion for others. I'm so grateful for this journey and for the men and women you've placed in my life, especially my dear friend, Mr. Burleson. Mr. Burleson has shown me true friendship built upon trust and integrity. There are so many in this room that have blessed me with their friendship, and so many that have lifted me up. There are so many that bless me here on a daily basis. I pray that you'll be with my firefighting team as they've been deployed to the Texas Panhandle and are currently battling a 32,000-plus acre fire. Put a shield of protection around them, all our first responders, and our military who put it on the line so we can call this wonderful country America. Lord, grant wisdom to our world leaders that they would rule in a way that would bring peace upon our nations. I thank you for my wife, Summer, who has traveled this journey with me, and my family that are present here today. Lord, please let today be a celebration of accomplishment that you've provided as I give you all the honor and glory. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
We'd like to have the American flag on the screen so that the singing black belt from Beaumont, Grandmaster Fred Simon, is going to lead us in the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
You don't have to stand on my account. Go ahead and have a seat. Well, you can do that too. Now, you'll notice that we are in the house of God. And that's not a coincidence, because Jamie, through his life, has personified the way a Christian should live their life. His pastor made a video for us because he was unable to be here. He's on a mission. And if we can have the video for Troy, that is
Hello,
Jamie's personal
Blessed
pastor.
Peace on you. Welcome to Open Door Church. I am so glad that you guys are here, and I'm so sorry, y'all, that I'm not here. I am in the nation of Israel right now. I actually met, I'm serious, can you imagine what Jamie was like as a fourth grader, as a fifth grader? I knew him then. And how I met Jamie, he and I both went to Joshua when we were both little boys. And I met Jamie because every day when I got sent to the office to go get my spanking, Jamie was always in line to get his spanking. And that is a true story. I would literally go to the principal's office. And guys, you can just imagine this, okay? This is back in the day when you didn't just get a spanking, you got beat. And I would go in there and Jamie was already waiting to get his whooping every day. And so I'd be like, dude, what are you in here for? What are you in here for? And he'd say, well, I'm in here for this. What are you in here for? So we became friends. We actually became friends. Absolutely crazy. Man, Jamie was lightning fast when he was a kid. I'm talking about lightning fast. And because, we didn't have drugs back then. I'm telling you, they would have medicated the brother. If there was some way, they would have injected him with something, but they didn't have anything. This was Joshua, Texas in the 1970s, and they didn't do that then. So this is what Mr. Staples told Brother Jamie. He said, Jamie, I'll tell you this right now. When you fill up, when you start feeling that, whatever that is, and you feel like you just need to lose your mind and disrupt the class, don't do that. Politely get up, walk out the door, quietly shut the door, and run around the building several times. You have my permission to do that. So my desk, well, I was in a grade above Jamie, and my desk was right by the window, and all day long I'd go, shoom, there goes Jamie, shoom, there goes Jamie again, shoom, there goes Jamie. So guys, when I say that I've known Jamie for a long time, we were very good friends as teenagers. Guys, I remember when Jamie was 16 and I was approaching 18 years old, whenever he got burned, and how that I actually went to the hospital, and many of my friends, we went to the hospital, and I mean, we heard the word that Jamie's not going to live. We heard that word. We heard his mama say, no, he's going to live. And then, I didn't know what to think. I just knew it was bad. And Jamie lived through the night, and then Jamie lived through the week, and then Jamie lived through the month. And though he was burned almost 40% of his body, third degree, and was in the hospital for months and months and months and months and months. I've known Jamie, and there's been few people that I've known that have made the impact on my life that Jamie Cashion has made on my life. He's been such a good friend to me, and I have loved Jamie, and Jamie has loved me. And when I got saved, and it was like, it was like really bad when I got saved. All my friends were all mad at me when I got saved and I joined the ministry. Everybody was mad at me except for Jamie. Jamie wasn't mad. Jamie's like, well, that kind of makes sense. He's weird. We all know Troy's weird, and now he's just going to be weird for Jesus. I'm grateful that Jamie himself has decided to become weird for Jesus over the years. And guys, he's been with me all over the world. He's been with me to Mexico. He's been with me all over Central America. He went with me up and down the Amazon River. He messed with our orphanages there. We went into prisons there. We literally nearly got killed in a prison there, which I'll let him tell you that story sometime. But the bottom line is that he's been with me all over the world, and he's made a tremendous difference that I can't even tell you the difference that he's made. And I'm so grateful for that. If there's anybody here that's thinking, well, this is just, some kind of a political thing, he's not really that cool, I want to tell you something. I was on a boat with Jamie Cashion, And we were out in the middle of nowhere in the ocean on a big ocean liner, and a man, I'm talking about a gorilla, a guy that weighed at least 275 pounds, a guy that was in his lower 20s, a guy that beat up people for a living, just for whatever reason decided he didn't like Jamie, got in Jamie's face, started calling Jamie names, all kinds of stuff. I went over there and said, hey, what's going on? What's going on? And this guy in this big time New York accent, he was like, I don't know, some knuckle dragging mafia dude. He was like, I want to tell you something here about your bun boy. Your bun boy here, I don't like him. I want him out of here. I was like, dude, do not be disrespectful to him. There's no reason for you to be disrespectful to him. Everything's cool. And he's like, it's not cool. Jamie walked completely away from it. And he was breathing. And he's like, man, it's my anniversary and I can't get into trouble. That guy stepped out and he started making fun of Jamie again. And he started threatening Jamie. He started threatening us. And that quick, I saw Jamie. He was across the room. And this is a true story. Okay, guys, you guys have to see this. He went running across the room, fast as a cat, jumped up in the air, and was doing like this. And then right at the last second, did that. Boom, hit him square in the face, and boom, they started fighting. This was a 50-year-old dude that was fighting a guy literally twice his size, who was a big-time bouncer in some big-time club or something. He kept telling us that. And the guy knew how to fight, and he did know how to fight. And if Jamie hadn't been there that night, I don't know what would have happened to all of us. But while everybody else was screaming in terror, I was like, that's the most awesome thing I've ever seen in my life. That is outstanding. I was praying for him. I was like, hit him, Jamie. Thank you, Lord God, for helping my friend. Beat him up, Jamie. Thank you. Dude, Jamie handled himself. I couldn't believe it. I wish everybody in this room could have seen it. I just want to tell you that I'm so grateful for the people that are doing this. Master Burleson, what a tremendous difference, sir, you have made, and the impact that you've made on our lives and the people within this room. Jamie Cashion, congratulations to you, sir, and I bless you. And brother, you're going to wear it well. Bye-bye, everybody.
Volunteer firemen from around that area, including the town of Joshua, helped fight the blaze.
Now we have another short video on Channel 8. I think you'll recognize the things that are going on.
Volunteer firemen from around that area, including the town of Joshua, helped fight the blaze. But before that blaze could be brought under control, 3 firemen were injured. 38-year-old Larry Stevens burned over 90% of his body, later died at Parkland Hospital. But his 16-year-old colleague is making a remarkable recovery. And he's the subject of tonight's follow-up file with Phyllis Watson. Phyllis?
Tracy, young Jamie Cashion suffered burns over 28% of his body. Doctors said it would take at least 6 months before he was ready for any sort of therapy. But Jamie is fooling everyone.
He wanted to dance for our camera, but his therapist put him to work. For the past few months, Jamie's been dancing his way through pain and misery. He never stopped teasing or joking with those around him, even though he knows how close he came to death. The fire Jamie was fighting last February 25th almost took his life. You can see where the strap of his fire helmet blocked flames below his chin. Scars mark where his boots burned through. His hands are charred, his nails are mangled. Most burn patients who've gone through what Jamie has wouldn't be ready for this type of therapy so soon after their injury. But Jamie isn't an ordinary person.
I just like to help him. One of my goals to go back and do it again. I can't wait. I'd be laying in the hospital bed, and the doctor would walk by with a beeper and just start beeping, and I'd jump up, and get ready to go.
Jamie is ready to go just 2 months after his accident. He still wants to be a fireman. He admits there was a time lying in the burn center that he had his doubts, but his mother, who's confined to a wheelchair, would not take "I can't" as a reason for anything.
She sat in that wheelchair the whole time I was in there, and wouldn't leave me.
His mother may be his link to strength, but Jamie has his own philosophy about life and love. For those who may be suffering through what he has just completed, he offers this bit of advice.
Oh, don't quit. Just don't quit. Just keep on praying.
That philosophy has helped Jamie keep up with his schoolwork. He's a sophomore now and will pass at the end of his school year with his class. Iola?
Good for him. Thank you.
As you can see, Jamie was a young boy firefighter and paid a horrible price. But he's still a firefighter. His chief was going to be here today, had a speech all written out, and matter of fact, he sent it to me because he's been deployed to Amarillo for a 32,000 square something, I don't know, mile or acre or something, a huge fire up in Amarillo, and he's going to be there for quite some time. So he forwarded to me what he wanted to say about Jamie. And he said, Jamie and I are cousins, and I'm his fire chief. For anyone who knows Jamie, you can see how supervising him could be an exhausting task. Giving him authority is probably the riskiest thing I've done in my 30 years of public service. In fact, he only became a member of our department after he kept showing up at all our major deployments. No matter where we were, the West explosion, the Possum Kingdom fires, the Granbury tornado, I'd get a call from the roadblock stating someone was there needing through to help us. So we decided it was easier just to let him in while teaching him how to use his inside voice. This turned out to be a very positive decision for us. Jamie not only serves as a very active firefighter and emergency medical responder, but also as a deputy fire marshal. And I can attest to the deputy fire marshal how proud Jamie is to be able to wear a gun and a badge. That's dangerous. He goes on to say, recently I got many compliments on his work helping investigate the large chemical plant explosion in Covington. And as always, you can imagine he's a big hit with the kids when he teaches public fire education. And when he's not serving with us directly, he's often serving others somewhere, somehow, whether it's rescuing them on the icy roads or sending someone to the doctor who otherwise maybe wouldn't have the money for it. As his closest cousin in age, I can say that I've probably known him longer than anyone in this room. And I can vouch that he was generous even as a child, making sure that when I got his hand-me-down clothes, that his mom would include his favorite toys or records. As you can guess, he was my favorite cousin. Who wouldn't want to hang out with the real live Dennis the Menace? Our adventures were epic. Most I still can't tell you due to the statute of limitations. The mischief was always in the spirit of fun, the pranks, the fires, the overwhelming desire to teach me about girls. Really? But in 1984, all that drastically came to a halt. While Jamie was fighting fires with the Joshua Fire Department at the age of 16, I was with the Burleson Fire Department with my dad. We were listening to the radio traffic, when 3 firefighters got burned. As everyone was in shock, I reminded my dad that Jamie was on the Joshua Fire Department. We immediately, we immediately went to the Hughley Hospital, where we saw the fire truck parked outside the emergency room, still running with lights still flashing. That was used to rush Jamie to the hospital directly. I saw them wheel him out to the waiting helicopter. I was in shock. Would Jamie ever be the same? The answer was definitely not. Sure, now he was scarred for life. He would have to work hard for years just to be able to use his hands again. He would have to learn how to deal with the stares from everyone when he walked into a room. What did Jamie do? He overcame each obstacle one by one. He used those scars to make sure that once you met him, you would never forget him. He used those hands to serve others. He took that charismatic personality and uses it to attract change in people's lives, whether in the mission field, in the karate studio, or while serving as a public servant. I'm blessed that you're my coworker, Jamie, my sparring partner, my mentor, my cousin, but mostly, I am most fond of being one of my best friends. Jamie, I would like to personally congratulate you on this huge accomplishment, receiving your 8th degree black belt. May you continue to be a blessing for us all. Now, everybody has cousins. I don't have any cousins that would speak so highly of me, I know. Family sometimes doesn't appreciate you as much as others. Jamie puts his life, this is not the letter. Jamie puts his life online for no compensation, but just for the love of helping others, even after getting burned and almost dying. Recently, there was a hurricane in Houston, Harvey, and Jamie called me telling me they were going to be deployed to Houston. I was looking forward to it, hoping to get a chance to see him. I didn't because he was working every day. We have a Channel 4 video of that hurricane and Jamie's activities in it.
Coons, Texas, 20 miles north of Beaumont and Port Arthur, is landlocked. This is all you can see for miles. This road goes back and is covered with water. Those people, those rescuers who were trying to get to Port Arthur and Beaumont were stopped by this water, had to launch boats and go there via streams and rivers just to get down. Others, however, from North Texas came down early and have been down in Port Arthur all day long, pulling people to safety.
The only place to bring them is on the highway because everything else is flooded.
Port Arthur, flooded by heavy rains from Harvey. Jamie Cashion, a North Texas volunteer firefighter, shot this video while doing boat rescues.
Just the fact that one was using dump trucks kind of to move people around, but that just tells you how dire the situation was.
In all, since Friday, the two of them have pulled nearly 100 people to safety.
Before they had a lot more people to shut, I believe.
Perhaps their proudest moment was rescuing this family with a 5-month-old baby.
Anytime you can rescue a baby, that's what it's all about. And but we've been here for quite a few days doing this, drove a long ways to get here, and wanted to make somebody. So being able to rescue a child was incredible.
And I want to tell you that Jamie has no shame either, because he paraded around on stage wearing a bra to raise money for charity. For breast cancer, I don't know. I think we have a video on that too. Don't worry, ladies, I don't think Jamie will make you fear him taking your place. Derek Hayes. And we're going to have Derek and a few people tonight speak to the qualifications demonstrated by Jamie for this promotion. And Derek has been his sparring coach and his full contact trainer on a regular basis. They spar often, and he's going to tell us a little bit about that. And I think you have some video too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, because we're going to watch or listen first to Derek, and then he'll tell us when to watch whatever's going on.
Okay, thank you, sir. Evening. All right. Grandmaster Burleson, sir. I'm here because about 40 years ago, Master Burleson put an orange belt around my waist, and I made it this far. He was putting together a team of black belts in Fort Worth that included Adam Robinson, Richard Morris, and a few other guys that Robert Hobart, Mr. Burleson, you remember Mr. Hobart. And along the way, I became part of that team of his black belt team. And I met Jamie Cashion at Larry Lockhart's tournament in San Antonio about 17 years ago, because he was looking for something, and he was looking to karate for what he needed. And he came to me because he didn't think that he could use his hands in karate the way he should. He had great kicks, and he was all legs, but he thought that I could help him with his hands. So we started training kickboxing about 17 years ago. And we had a stable of guys that would come in weekly, and we would fight. And we'd put Jamie out there and just glue his feet to the ground and tell him to use your hands and nothing else. And we'd go one at a time at him until he started to cover his head or cover his whatever. And then we started to let him punch back. But he learned to defend himself, to cover, to block before anything. And then he felt strong enough to start hitting back, or I allowed him to hit back. We had a lot of guys come through there sparring with us. Terry Mars was a guy that came through to spar and help us train Jamie. It was just a bunch of guys. I can't think of names right now, but it was so many. And then I'm thinking, just give me a minute, let me think. I got it.
Video.
Huh?
I want to see the video.
We're getting to it. You just wait a minute. We're getting to it. Hold your horses. Yeah. I'm trying to tell you about Jamie Cashion right now.
All right.
After we made it through those sparring sections for 17 years, when it was time for him to be promoted this time, he came to me and he wanted to prove himself. So a couple of weeks ago, sir, I put together 5 guys on a Saturday morning about 10:30, and we put Jamie through 15 rounds of sparring. He sparred 6 rounds back to back with different people, rested 2 rounds. He sparred 6 more rounds back to back, rested 1 round, and we finished up with a 3-rounder back to back. And he came out of that session with flying colors, punching and kicking. Now I'm going to tell you, Jamie Cashion is my friend. His family, his daddy was my friend. His family, they're a friend of mine. So when we put Jamie through the ringer just a couple of weeks ago, we did it with love, but we beat his butt. You better believe it. And the thing about that is, he was happy that we did that. Now we have a film to watch. All right. Thank you, sir. Go now.
Jamie, connect. Go, Jamie.
Come on, Jamie. Come on, Jamie.
Get him, Jamie.
Good job, Jamie.
Mike, get on that. Come on, Mike.
Good job, Jamie.
Hands up, Mike.
Hands up.
Nice kick.
Very nice.
All right. There we go. Hug you. That was slow, and I knew it too. Wow.
That's nice.
That my ears.
That's yours. That's yours.
All right.
Lay it back. Hang on, we'll get the thing off. Take it out.
That my ears.
That's yours. That's yours.
All right.
Lay it back. Hang on, we'll get the thing off. Take it out.
I think they finally figured out who's the. I think they figured out whose blood they were looking for there. Now, our next presenter is a native of Kingsville, Texas, and when he left Texas, he went on to conquer the world of martial arts as the #1 point fighter in the world light heavyweight PKA kickboxing champion, a master of business and martial arts instructor, and now a 10th degree black belt, giving back so much to so many in the martial arts. I want you to say hi to Grandmaster Jeff Smith.
I always love to come back to Texas. You know, I grew up in Texas. I learned to fight in Texas. And I see a lot of my old competitors that used to work me over. I have pins in my thumb from Fred Wren, a scar here from Fred. You know, some of my best scars were from Texas. You know, somebody asked me, wow, there's a lot of people here. How did he get all these people here? You know, the thing about Jamie, he really shows the true essence of martial arts. You know, there was a time when I used to think that martial arts was all about fighting and how many trophies you could get and how tough you were. But as you get older and a little wiser, you start realizing that martial arts goes far beyond that. It's not about, you know, your technique will slowly die down. It's not going to be like you used to be. But what you can add and give to other people. Everybody here has been touched by, Jamie has touched so many lives. Everybody here, I'm sure, could come up and share a long story about what he's done or their contact with him, how it's meant to their life. When you see all of these other people, the things that he has done, and I know martial artists all over the world, and I'm going to tell you, I have not seen very few or any do as much and give back as much as Jamie. He really makes me proud that he's a martial artist. So when he's out serving the community, when people see him and they say, wow, martial artists must be really good people. Because to dedicate your time and your effort, and you can see these multiple things. This is not a one-time thing he's done. After what he's gone through. So when it comes to degrees and belts and ranks, Jamie has earned everything that is being bestowed on him, and it's evident by the caliber of people that are here. I mean, we have the biggest pioneers in Texas, you know, Master Burleson and Grandmaster Alan Steen and Jim Harris, and then all the competitors, you know, Jim Buten and Fred Wren and Ed Daniels and all of these guys, Linda Denley, Pat Worley comes all the way from Minneapolis. Joe Corley comes all the way from Atlanta. Bob Wall, and I'm going to tell you, I haven't seen Bob Wall at anything in the last 10 years, so to get him there, you know somebody has to be a nice guy. But I'm honored that I was able to come and show my support and appreciate all the things that he has done for so many and for martial arts. And I want to say that that was an amazing singing there, Fred. I was telling Fred Wren, I said, listen to this bass. And he goes, oh, yeah, I haven't heard him sing in a long time. And then after you finished, I said, see, he didn't lose a step. So thank you, everybody. A great job, George. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you, Grandmaster Smith. Now, the next person up to talk about Jamie and in the early to mid-'60s, for those of you who remember, most of the people are not with us anymore that were around then, there was a gathering of what was considered the most recognized black belt leaders in the martial arts. The purpose was to establish a nationwide league to promote the concept of black belt team fighting. There was Ed Parker from Kempo Karate, Pat Burleson, Alan Steen representing the Texas Taekwondo, Chuck Norris, Tang Sudo, and other black belt luminaries. There were only 2 brown belts invited to this meeting. One of those is here tonight. You may know him from his movies, Bruce Lee's Enter the Dragon, or his epic film contributions with Chuck Norris. My longtime friend, Bob Wall.
He needed a headbutt. I think it's important to note that the 2 fathers of Texas karate, Pat Burleson and Alan Steen, that Grandmaster Pat Burleson, unbelievable martial artist, is the man promoting Jamie tonight. Mr. Burleson, would you stand up and be acknowledged? Grandmaster Burleson, I'm blessed to have had most of the walk of my life with this great man. He's one of my great friends. I'm honored to be part of this ceremony for the amazing Jamie Cashion. You know, Satan tried to kill him in the fire, but Jesus wouldn't allow it. Now he's still with us. My mother, I was blessed to have this wonderful Christian mother that lived 99 years, lost her a couple years ago. She told me when I was a little boy, she said, you know, your gift, you are God's gift to you. Now what you do with you is your gift to God. So reputation is what people think you are, but character is what you really are. So be of good character. Jamie Cashion is a great character and well deserved this honor. So I can only say thank you, Jesus, for saving him from the fire, delivered him to us. And I say to you, Jamie, you have been a great gift to God. Thank you. God bless America. God bless you. Ciao.
Good job, my man. Joe Corley is a native of Atlanta, and like most black belts across this country, he would rather be a Texan. But it's not his fault. Most of you are familiar with the Battle of Atlanta, founded by Joe Corley. It's celebrating its golden anniversary in June of this year, 50 years. That's almost longer than I've been alive. All right. Yeah, twice. And he helped build the PKA on television, trained some 50,000 Atlanta residents through 5 decades in his Atlanta studios. He says he sincerely enjoys his time here in Texas more than any other martial arts group he interacts with, even including Jeff Smith and George Minshew. Those are his words. Joe, follow that if you can.
In a recent publication, Jamie Cashion was featured in the Lifetime Legends part of the publication, and he was in the company of Alan Steen and Jeff Smith and Bill Wallace and on. Pat Burleson, of course, and in it, the Lifetime Achievement was based on what he had done. I would just like to read to you from the publication. It said that His first fundraiser was in 1985 when he assisted in an event for the Shrine Burn Institute that raised over $250,000. It says since 1991 he served on the Bobby Bragan Youth Foundation that presents 32 eighth graders with large scholarships. From 1992 to 1993 he was on the board of directors of the YES Program of America with noted author Zig Ziglar. He chaired the entertainment committee for the Ohio Ranch Social Club in Texas from 1996 to 2007. And while chairing the committee, he directed headline entertainment artists Willie Nelson, George Jones, Merle Haggard, Tanya Tucker, Diamond Rio, Sawyer Brown, Lori Morgan, and more. He had worked very closely with the American Cancer Society, the American Heart Association, the Fort Worth Stock Show Syndicate, Speedway Charities, and he's active with the Big Brothers and Big Sisters and the Spark Worldwide. It's taken him to Africa, Peru, Brazil, Colombia, Costa Rica, and Mexico, where he traveled the globe to preach, feed, and teach karate to orphans. So the reason I mention these things is that Jeff Smith said it best. He said that he's only signed one other high-ranking black belt certificate, and many of us are asked over time to kind of sign off on and give credibility to people that we don't really know, you know, just he's a friend of mine, please sign it. And Jeff is one of those guys, obviously, that will refuse to do that kind of thing. And he was very proud, as I was, to sign this 8th degree certificate for Jamie. And the idea that a person gives back the way he does is really unique in our world today, but it speaks to the heritage whence he came. On the back of this recent publication, there was a special tribute to very special grandmasters. And at the top of the food chain here, you see June Rhee, and just below him, you see Alan Steen and Pat Burleson, and then in the center, you see Jeff Smith. And it reads that they've actually generated more than 100,000 black belts around the world. So imagine the legacy that Jamie has been raised in, and it's a real pleasure for me on behalf of PKA and Battle of Atlanta to recognize so many people that have come from this part of the world. And when I said I really would appreciate being a Texan more than being a Southeasterner, I really mean it. I just love this spirit down here. I love Jamie's spirit, the spirit of his whole family, the Cashion family, and his entire martial arts family. And Jamie, as an Atlanta person, I just say congratulations, sir. Very well deserved.
Now we have a video from the mayor of Fort Worth, who was scheduled to be here but was unable to make it, so she created a video just for Jamie.
Jamie, congratulations on your 8th degree black belt. We are so proud of you and what you do. Keep working. You're doing great things.
And then someone that you might recognize from her movies that are seen around the world, Cynthia Rothrock.
Hi, Jamie. I want to say congratulations on your 8th Dan. I wish that I could be there in Texas with you, but unfortunately, I'm here in Miami on a prior commitment. So anyway, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. I'm proud to be your friend. You're such a great friend that gives back to so many people. And I think one of the greatest things that I love about you is that you always put a smile on people's faces. You're always making people laugh, and that's priceless. So anyway, I miss you all in Texas. I love Texas. I wish I was there. So anyway, take care. God bless. And I hope to see you guys all soon.
Another one of the legends of the martial arts, Bill Wallace.
Jamie, congratulations very much. You deserve every bit of it. We're here in Allentown, Pennsylvania, going through a snowstorm, getting ready to go to a hockey game. Then we have to drive all the way back to Dulles Airport and fly back to warm Florida. Good luck to you. You take care. You deserve it, my friend.
And it looks like I'm going to be the one stuck with taking him back through the snow on the sled with the dogs to the Dulles Airport. And I don't get to go to the warm weather. Bye.
Now, we have another video that Joe Corley made available to us. If we have that one. If you were unable to hear that audio, both Joe Corley and Jeff Smith nominated Jamie Cashion to be inducted into the Warriors. I'm sorry. Whatever it is, I like it. Listen, I'm just following what it says. But I do want to tell you that today is not an ordinary belt promotion, because Jamie Cashion is not an ordinary martial artist. If you know him, you know that's true. He loves the martial arts and started in 1976 when he walked into Billy Smith's karate school and signed up for classes right here in Burleson, Texas. He later joined Richard Morris Karate Schools under the J. Pat Burleson system, where he obtained his black belt. In the early 90s, Jamie partnered with Terry Morris and purchased 2 karate schools that did great until, as you might expect, Jamie started feeling sorry for the kids that would come in and didn't have the money. So he just started saying, oh, it's okay, come on in. Pretty soon his school was pretty full, unlike his bank account. And it's really not a really good way to run a full-time martial arts school. But Jamie, in doing so, understood that this was his calling to teach martial arts to children for free. And he's been doing that for almost 30 years. Come on. In 2010, Jamie organized his first martial arts event for his dear close friend, mentor, Grandmaster Pat Burleson. A surprise birthday party that was attended by 450 people. 450 people for a surprise. He didn't even know. He pulled up there in this limousine. He thought that was his birthday party, the limousine. In 2013, Jamie was working on the 2014 Masters Hall of Fame event for Texas. And our friend, his and mine and many of you here tonight, James Toney, was not going to be able to make the ceremony due to his sickness. So Jamie created a special event just for James Toney so he could be recognized by his peers prior to his passing. Jamie later organized the largest Hall of Fame event in Texas history in 2014 in Fort Worth, when 93 senior martial artists from all over the United States and Mexico. There were over 600 guests that attended, and this day was declared Masters Hall of Fame Day by the Fort Worth Mayor, Betsy Price. He partnered the event, as he has done so often, with his favorite non-profit Spark Worldwide charity, collecting over $85,000. Jamie didn't stop there. Go ahead, we can do that. So then he created the Night of Tribute, which honors the pioneers of the martial arts. In 2015, he started facilitating seminars and black belt tests traveling the United States with Grandmaster Burleson. He facilitated the idea with Grandmaster Burleson of promoting people who had been involved in the martial arts for 30, 40, 50 years to the rank of 10th degree black belt. He promoted people, and it was decided to promote a special person to 10th degree at his 70th birthday. This got the ball rolling on the very first 10th degree to be promoted by Grandmaster Burleson. That included Jim Buten and Bob Nuttall and Richard Morris and Fred Simon and George Minshew and John Worley and Pat Worley and Gordon Franks and Larry Cornahan, Dr. Steve Powell, Ralph Josky, Tony Lopez, Al Francis, Larry Lockhart, Sante Wilson, John Anderson, his first female black belt promoted to 10th degree. She's here tonight, April Cunningham. Over the years, Jamie has trained with Billy Smith and Richard Morris and Terry Morris and Kerry Morris. A lot of Morrises there, Jamie. Billy Bramer, Steve Parks, Rudy Smedley, Derek Hayes, Joe Hodagro, Lewis Jones, and his ever-present mentor, Grandmaster Burleson. Jamie continues to remain by Grandmaster Burleson's side, scheduling belt promotions and teaching free women's self-defense. You see, in the martial arts, it's really not about how many tournaments you've won or how bad you can hurt another person, but how you lift up the martial arts by lifting up other people within the martial arts. And sometimes people say, well, what are you going to do on your test? At this level, you've already done it. You start testing for 8th degree black belt the day after you make your 7th degree, because it's about contributions. What have you done? What have you done to make the martial arts better? Not what have you done to make you better, because that was before, when you were taking. Now it's about giving. And very, very, very few people have had an impact in that way in the life of service to the martial arts than Jamie Cashion. He's always doing things to help others. And this is an example. Grandmaster Burleson had this truck he must have been in love with, because that truck was at least 100 years old. And he would drive that truck around and it would break down. And one day it broke down again. And he was stranded in 100+ degree weather. Jamie started calling all those that care for Grandmaster Burleson. And in 19 hours, he raised over $20,000 to buy Grandmaster Burleson his new car.
Something like this only is possible with the love of other people, and that's why I kept telling you that the week that you just you have no idea how many people that came through for you.
Well, it's beautiful. What is it?
This is a Buick Regal.
Wow.
So your sign here says, I'm going to hold it out, from so many, we love you. It's hard to see, but
you know, all my life I've wanted a Buick and never owned one.
He still pampers that car. Jamie's acts don't go unnoticed. He's been inducted into 9 martial art Hall of Fames. 9. Jamie has dedicated his life to serving other people with no compensation. Matter of fact, it cost him. All of this he does for love, the love of this art. He's traveled to Brazil and Colombia, Peru, Costa Rica, and a place in Mexico called the Dumps of Mexico, where the authorities would take street kids and dump them in the city dump, literally. He went there. He said to me that the stench you could smell from 7 miles away, and people were living there, bearing children. They were playing in garbage. And partially through Jamie's efforts, that has been closed down.
Good. And then, 1. Good. 1. Now, go. Good, go.
This is Jamie teaching children in Uganda, Africa, a little bit about karate.
Good, very nice.
Jamie goes almost every year somewhere. Often he goes to missions in Africa, where they have established a clinic, wells, educational activities for kids. And he told me yesterday, we were talking, that when he goes back, he sees that growth where the kids are learning. They're learning some English languages. They're learning to develop things that they would never have had a chance to do had they not developed that clinic and that village there for those kids to come in out of the jungle and start learning, giving themselves an opportunity to move forward. He continues to teach for free, offers women's self-defense seminars, speaks at schools about bullying, as well as trains and works out in kickboxing. You see, it's because of the things that you've heard and seen today that make Jamie the perfect candidate for advancement to 8th degree black belt. And certainly no greater person to receive that from than my mentor, my instructor, my friend, the great Grandmaster Pat Burleson. I'm sorry? It's in the trunk. Listen, Jamie, Jamie has been treating this promotion like he does everything in the world. He tries to do it all himself. He was up early this morning, along with other friends that stayed at his house last night. They go out and do things to pick up ice and all the other things that are required to do that. Just like that, they come up here, they want to give this young man the things he deserves.
Which I had no idea of doing this coming into this arena. Judged off of what I've heard and what I've seen, I'm going to promote Jamie Cashion to 9th degree black belt. We have an unusual form here of 10th degree black belts. Do I have a concurring? And any of you raise your hand if you agree with me. Thank you. And I present to you 9th degree black belt Jamie Cashion.
And I even took a Xanax today. Y'all that know me know I cry a whole lot. It's just what happens. Actually, the doctor said I've got too much estrogen, and it's got to be because I usually don't cry this much. Man, God's been so good to me, from sparing my life, giving me a really strong mother that was in a wheelchair that taught me never to give up, and to have incredible family that are there for you, incredible stepmother, aunt and uncle, wife who tolerates my cult. It means so much that you are here today. So many of you drove so far just to be here for this 1 hour, hour and a half, and then you're going to drive back. God bless you for that, because it speaks volumes that perhaps I'm doing something right, and I promise I do give from the heart. And I think that's what we're all supposed to do. And I'm just so blessed that God's given me the ability to do it. And y'all honor me. Mr. Daniel, Mr. Harrison, Mr. Yates, Mr. Jenkins, all Mr. Wall, Mr. Parks, Mr. Smith, Terry Morris. Is Terry Morris here? Where's Terry? Thank you. Grandmaster Richard Morris, thank you. Carrie Morris, who taught me forms over and over and over and over because I just sucked at them. And she had patience with me, and so many people have poured into me. And I'm a culmination of that. But I give my honor and glory to God for putting y'all in my life, and I just cannot thank you so much for being here and honoring me. It's so tremendous. Andy Burleson, thank you for being the heart and soul of Christian Soldiers Program, which is in 13 churches, and it's basically a free program where these kids can learn karate, and they learn the Bible, and they learn the Scripture, and if anything, they're just a better person for it. So Miss Burleson heads that program up, and I'm proud to be a part of that. Thank you so much. Thank you. So we're going to do pictures. So that's it. We're going to do pictures for all the martial artists, and for my friends, I would love to be able to hug you, and again, thank you so much for blessing me, and it's because of you that just makes me want to do even better. So God bless you all and be safe. Thank you so much.